Yeah, I hope everybody's having a great day. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Special day out here with my dad, and I know a lot of other people feel the same way. Great game against a very, very good team. Very well coached. They give you a lot of challenges, on both sides of the ball. They jumped on us quick. Our guys did a great job of just putting their head down and not panicking, and we talk about it all the time, like being process-oriented, next play mentality, and just play every pitch. When you look up, whatever happens, happens. We did a good job of that. I thought Lynch was good. It's an oblique. Hopefully he can get that thing better and pitch for us tomorrow. I don't think it's too serious, but I didn't want to gamble. And Globe came in and was lights out for us. A big swing of the bat, obviously, by Owen Hull with that home run, extending the lead. And then Cooper Nicholson, that ball was touched, and I thought for a second he was going to catch it with the wind. So that was big for us as well. We made plays defensively, like Gavin turning that double play at the end. So excited for our team. This is what it's all about. This is why you work so hard to play in a night game, national championship game. So we're excited about that opportunity. We feel like it's an honor and a privilege to be in that moment. We'll talk about it tonight, but I do want to give a shout out to the Carolina fans, all of our alumni, the players that have made it out here that I've coached. It's been unbelievable. We have a send-off at our hotel, and it's one of the more impressive things I've ever seen. Our administration, our donors, everybody's out here, and they're out here because they're pulling like hell for our guys, and they feel that. So I wanted to talk about that briefly, but I'll stop talking and move on, and excited to play tomorrow night.
We're opening up the questions for the student athletes.
Monty Taylor, Just Baseball. Cooper, could you walk us through the home run there? Did you think it was out, what the pitch was, what you were looking for, and the swing?
Yeah, so Coach Forbes gave me the green light on the 3-0, and I swung at a bad pitch. Should not have swung at that. But, I was just sticking through the at-bat, looking for something over the plate, got a breaking ball, and just put a good swing on it.
Glad he swung at it.
Tommy Ashley inside Carolina. Caden, just walk us through the rush and get ready to get in there for Lynch after he went out and not getting maybe your usual warm-up.
It wasn't really a rush, injury, you get as much time as you need. They kept telling me that, so I don't have to rush. But I don't really like throwing a ton in the bullpen either way. If I'm coming in, I know I'm coming in, they'll tell me that you'll be in against this hitter. I'm not going to throw more or less. I'll try and stay to 6 pitches, honestly, in the bullpen. And then you get 8 out there, so that's pretty much perfect.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7 question for Eric. The first 2 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 hit. You had the 1 hit there. And then after the next 3 innings from Xander Mercurius, 4 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Did you notice something from him early on in that first at-bat that you were able to share with your teammates? Or how did the approach change for everybody else one time through the order?
Yeah, I think we just let the fastball get deep. That was my approach. Let the fastball get deep and hit the off speed out front. So he dotted a fastball away. I let it travel and went that way with it. And I think just hitting's contagious. You see one person get something done. You have more confidence at the plate, and I think that's exactly what we did today.
Noah Westcott with Tar Heel 24/7. Eric, what did it mean for you to get this win on Father's Day?
Yeah, it meant a lot. Seeing my mom in the stands with my siblings and my dad's mom, my grandma, she was also in the stands today. It's really awesome seeing him out there. Obviously, it's very emotional. But, I was really glad that we got the win today, and can't wait to go out there tomorrow.
Haskell, inside Carolina for Caden, 5 shutout innings against the hottest offense in college baseball. Kind of just walk me through your approach and your mentality today on the mound.
Yeah, well, when you play for the best team in college baseball, it's pretty easy to go out there with the defense you have and the offense you have. So, working with Coach Gaines and just throwing what he calls, he works so hard behind the scenes to know what type of pitch to throw in whatever count you're in. So, it looked pretty challenging, I guess, but, with the defense we have and the team that we have, it was pretty easy.
Noah Darling, College Baseball Central. Caden, you kind of just touched on it, but it's pretty well documented. You're supposed to be going to prom and other things that high schoolers do right now, and yet you're dominant at Carolina. Where does that fearlessness come from?
Like I said, you're on the best team in college baseball, so you can't go out there with fear. The preparation takes over the fear. We work so hard on it. You got to have the right mindset, and you know that you're made for the moment, whatever moment you're in.
Ariel Bynum, Tar Heel Tribune. obviously they've lived off the home runs in the last few weeks. They had a couple of mistakes yesterday. It seemed like you weren't afraid to challenge them. What was your approach against those guys who you know can take any pitcher deep?
Yeah, I almost think of it like the hitter can kind of sense if you're fearing pitching to him. So, you got to pitch to your strengths. You got to throw the stuff in the zone. Like a good hitter bats 300, but that means he gets out a good bit too. So you got to pitch to your strengths and get the guy out whenever you need to.
Michael Code, WCHL, chapelboro.com. Cooper, some of the guys are saying that there wasn't any panic in the dugout after Oklahoma went ahead 2-0. Where does that resiliency and that mental toughness come from with this group?
Yeah, I think we're a tough group offensively. We put together some gritty at bats, as you saw. We got on base a ton. French, he went, I think, 0 for 0 with 4 walks. That's just showing what our offense is like.
Grace Nugent, Inside Carolina. Caden, Coach Gaines said yesterday you guys, the pitching staff, was able to get ahead early but not make those 2-strike pitches, those big pitches. How did you see the entire staff, you and Ryan, make all of those today?
Yeah, first time facing that lineup, so you don't really know what to expect. Going into today, Coach Gaines did say that you got to execute those 0-2 pitches. He said it's going to be easy to get the 2 strikes with our pitching staff that we have, but just kind of learning from yesterday, you got to make those 2-strike pitches and they're going to chase.
We have time for one more for the student athletes.
Monty Taylor, Just Baseball. Eric, you talked about the emotion of Father's Day and on top of the emotion of probably playing for national championship. How do you kind of harness that emotion and kind of handle that? Because it's got to be, at times overwhelming, but also you got to figure out a way to manage it. And especially, I know all the Carolina dads were wearing your number on a pin. So, you got that extra storyline as well. So how are you kind of managing, that emotion?
Yeah, my dad he brought me up as a strong kid. I was always around him, around adults when I was really young, and it just made me mature really early. I kind of lost it in the dugout after the game today. After doing a couple interviews, I just sat in the dugout and got a little emotional. It was the first time I broke down in a while, but he just raised me to be a strong man, and I just try to carry that out every day.
Cooper, Caden, Eric, thank you guys for your time. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Good job, Paulie. Hey, good job. Love you, dude. Good job, boys. Good job, Coop.
We're going to open it up to questions for Coach.
Rod Baxley, Fayetteville Observer. Scott, does Caden surprise you anymore with what he's been able to do this season, and in particular today with the season on the line?
It's just what you expect. It's like the Dustin Ackley version of a pitcher. If something bad happens, you're like shocked. I felt like when the dust, as we called him, was here, if he didn't get a hit, something was wrong with him. And I'm sitting here thinking I might start him tomorrow because our chances are pretty good when he pitches.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, you mentioned how Oklahoma jumped out to that 2-0 lead. The teams that score the first run in the College World Series this year are 11-2. And then Jake Schaffner rips the triple down the line, and then he scores on the wild pitch. Walk us through kind of that third inning and the wave of momentum.
Yeah, I didn't know that stat. I'm glad I didn't know it. Maybe we need to try to get ahead tomorrow, obviously. I believe in this team, and they believe in themselves. And in a weird way, they've played better, as they said, when their backs are against the wall. For some reason, I had a weird feeling on Friday when we played Southern Cal, but I woke up with a better feeling on that Saturday. I felt the same way this morning, but I felt that way because I know our players. And Jake Schaffner's a great one to talk about. That kid brings it every day. Nobody recruited him much. Went to North Dakota, and thankfully he picked us. I think he's one of the best shortstops in the country. I know he's one of the best overall players and teammates, and one of the most impressive young men that I've ever coached, just because of his grittiness and how hard he plays. He plays through some nicks and bruises. But man, I feel like he's always ready up there and ready for the big moment. And he hadn't had a lot of hits, it seems like, lately, so that was big for him too, because he's been stinging it.
Coach, Jacob Leslie with the Gateway, and touching more on that third inning, 9 batters came to the plate. 7 of them were dealt first pitch strikes, but 8 of those 9 at-bats went at least 5 pitches. 5 of them went 6 or more. What do you have to say about running up Xander's pitch count in that third inning?
Yeah, no question. I think he threw about 50, but obviously I felt like we should have scored more runs there. So I want us to hopefully tomorrow night to do the same thing, but get that big hit, and hopefully we will. But when a guy is that good, I mean, there was a point where I thought we might set a World Series record for strikeouts because he was that on with that changeup, and a good changeup is tough to do anything with when you back it up with 95, 97 miles an hour. But we got him in the stretch. He started missing a little bit, and he was leaving the changeup up more so we can make contact with it. But I thought getting the pitch count up in that inning allowed us to get him out of the game.
Noah Weisskopf with Tar Heel 24/7. How do you approach tomorrow's game with the arms that you have? Who's available, who isn't, and sort of what is your mentality when it comes to who's going to be out there?
I mean, my mentality is, number one, this is the position we all want to be in. I sure as heck do. And our players want to be in it. So that's the first thing. Embrace that and enjoy it and go after it. It'll be all hands on deck. I trust our pitchers. I have a great relationship with them. I can't really make that decision tonight because I want to see how guys feel. We take a lot of value in catch play. I told Coach Gaines I feel like we got about 7 options to start tomorrow, and I like every one of them. And I'm not trying to hide anything, but I want to sleep on it. And our approach will be everybody available as long as they feel good. If somebody doesn't feel good, they're going to be honest with me. It's just a matter of who we decide as a coaching staff to start. And I'm not sure who that's going to be.
Spencer Haskell, Inside Carolina. Scott, you told us on Thursday, remembering back to 2006, you were so nervous before Game 3 you couldn't eat your breakfast. 20 years later, you're in the same position. I guess what lessons or what's the message, going into tomorrow?
Oh, man. Well, I told a lot of people sleep is important. I got 9 hours of sleep last night, and I have to be careful because the guys know I'm a little louder, and I have to make sure I don't get thrown out of a game with umpires. Have more energy, but just to enjoy it. I slept great. And as a matter of fact, I ate a huge breakfast this morning, probably the biggest breakfast I've eaten. When you do this long enough, you understand that there's more to it than, don't get me wrong here. We want to win the national championship. We're going to go after it like crazy. But you coach long enough, you understand that there's way more to it. And I just want the guys to play free and easy and to have fun going after that national championship. So I'm going to do the same thing and practice what I preach.
Monty Taylor, Just Baseball. Coach, could you talk a little bit about what Owen Hall has been able to do in this postseason and that what that home run kind of meant? Because you guys had kind of left the bases loaded and then left 2 more on, and it looked like you were kind of letting Oklahoma stick around, but then Owen Hall hits the insurance there and Cooper adds on. Could you talk a little bit about what Owen Hall has done for this postseason? Because it felt like something similar in that Ole Miss game where he kind of helped rally something there.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like he's done it for the most part the whole season. I think he struggled out of the gate maybe the first 2 weeks, but then he'll tell you he decided to listen more and not have 15 hitting coaches and listen to one, because that's important. These kids have way too much sometimes distractions, but he has been so consistent. Again, I don't remember a player that has been that clutch. I remember a lot of them. Obviously, like a Kyle Moran with all those RBIs. You got guys like Kyle Seager and Dustin Ackley that were doubles machines, but you got a ton of them. You got Chad Flack, who always got the big knock. But what he's done, in driving in almost 90 runs, it's unbelievable. He just has a knack for the big hit. And that home run was a big hit because they're going to make a run. They made a run at the end, and every run we can scratch for, we needed.
Ariel Bynum, Tar Heel Tribune. Can you talk about that mound visit? Reading lips, it looked like he told you that he tweaked his tweaked it during warm-ups, and then he tried to go and he couldn't do it.
The first thing is I was thankful that he told me it wasn't his arm, because that's what you dread as a coach. You got a kid out there pitching that's going to make his career in the major leagues, not making his career here. So I felt better about that, and he just said his oblique just kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter. It had not pulled yet, and I've known it long enough. Could have it been dehydration? I hope it was, because if he tells me he feels great tomorrow, he might be the starter. But I just felt like that's my job, is to take care of him, and I didn't want to hurt it. I've seen things like that tear. So I just made that decision to not let him throw anymore, even try to throw anymore, because he's a power pitcher. He sits 95 to 98, and that was the last pitch I think was 92 or 93, so he was backing off the gas a little bit, so I just wanted to protect him.
Scott, Gavin told me that this is the most unified, united team that he's ever been around. And I asked Cooper about not panicking after the first inning when Oklahoma went ahead 2-0. What is it about this team in your mind that gives them that mental toughness and that resiliency that we've seen? Because it doesn't seem like it's normal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying it. We tell the guys in the first meeting, I have a PowerPoint, and the first thing that I show them is the word love, and we talk about the word love and what it means, and it's the strongest force on the planet. But obviously they know, like I said the other day, there's some tough love, but this team really loves each other. And I think there's some tough love in that locker room that I never have to get. It never gets to me where I have to be the tough love guy. That's a credit to them in the locker room working things out, because things aren't perfect throughout the year. I've been a player, but if you have a special locker room, they work it out, even though they have difficult discussions. Hopefully there's no bloody noses or anything in there, but it's a credit to Gavin Gallagher, Matty Mathias, but a lot of other guys, not just our captains.
We have time for 2 more questions for Coach.
Coach Forbes, we talk a lot about the big things that happen in the game, but just sort of speak to Carter French's 4 at-bats today. 4 walks. I think only time somebody's walked 4 times in a College World Series game.
I just smile when I think of Carter French. Obviously coaching, you have a lot of different players from a lot of different backgrounds. But the great thing about a team sport is, you have to have Carter Frenches on your team that aren't the highest recruited players, that, kind of an old-fashioned walk-on. His summer coach had let me know about him, and he got into UNC on his own. I'll never forget the meeting. He came up to my office. He was about 150 pounds probably, but I said, I'll give you a locker, and the rest is up to you. And then after about a week, he'll tell you I had to have a little chat with him, like, are you serious about this or not? Because it looks like to me you're just, somebody told you to try out and you're not going after him. From that day, that kid has not let up. He's worked. He's been in the weight room. He has maximized his potential, and he's played great for us, made great plays in the outfield, and he's got that slow heartbeat and ice water in his veins, and his at-bats today were huge for us. I told him, I said, because my job is to always think ahead and coach, so I had written 10 down beside him because he would have let off the 10th. I was hoping he wouldn't. But, man, I think he let off, what'd you say, 4 times, and he got on base every time. So that's what we need to, lengthen out our lineup.
Time for 1 more question.
Grace Nugent, Inside Carolina. Coach, you talk about the pillars of your program: servanthood, humility, love, toughness, resilience, family. How does Eric Paulson embody all of those? And as a coach, just what were the emotions like watching him do what he did today, especially on Father's Day?
I said that's a tough one. Just give me a second. I'll get it together. Sorry. Eric called me July 4th, I think. And the phone rang really early, so I knew it was bad news. So that's a tough deal. My wife lost her dad suddenly the week of 2011. So even though I had my wife more than me, it was her dad, it wasn't my dad. I feel like he was my dad. I just told him and said, look, we're going to be here for you. I know I can't help you by words. And I learned going through that with my wife that the best thing you can do is just be there and learn to listen. Have some feel and not ask them every day about it. But, my wife was also 30 years old, and this kid just showing up at UNC still in his 20s. And to see what he's done and to see his team embrace him, good night. I met his dad too, and his dad was awesome. I mean, straight NYPD, a bad dude. And he served us. He served our country. He served us 9/11. I know that he's with Eric. I know he's watching Eric. And, today's a tough day for a lot of people, and it was a tough day for him, but it was a little less tough, I think, because he knew of his presence and he knew he was with them. And he knows, he has a lot of guys in there that are there for him, and it's okay to get emotional. It's okay to have some tears. But, man, it's why you coach at the end of the day. You want to help these kids leave here and get through things and have better lives and learn to deal with life's hard. Baseball's not. So I'm just thankful that he's been in my presence because, he's been way stronger than I would have been probably at that age. And, I love him like a son. Hopefully he feels that.